Hey, what's going on everyone? So Sonic Dream Team came out like earlier this week at the time of recording this, and I played the entire game. So I thought I would just make this kind of like rant video, just going over my thoughts of it, and you know, that kind of thing, because I think the game, despite being a mobile game, was really good. Like, really good. You see, the main thing with Sonic Dream Team is the fact that it's a mobile game, but it's exclusive to Apple devices. And not only is it exclusive to Apple devices, but it's exclusive to the Apple Arcade subscription service. So, you know, it's like, okay, just shoving salt in the wound at that point. So of course that was a turnoff for multiple people, but you know what? For me, I still had a chance to play this game. I had an old 2018 iPad I was able to play this game on, and I played it from start to finish. The thing with this game is, after playing through the whole thing, I just kind of felt sad almost, and I'll get into why that is later. But before we get there, I just want to kind of go over all of the stuff that was in the game and, you know, give my thoughts on it. So yeah, just to start, I just want to say this game is very ambitious for a mobile game. This is basically like a full-fledged 3-hour 3D Sonic game, really, but it's on mobile devices. And you know what? That's very impressive, especially considering that many 3D Sonic games are like the same length. Like, we had Forces, that was only like a couple hours long. Generations was only a couple hours long. Hell, even Colors was only a few hours long. You know, there were a lot of Sonic games in that little time span that were all like very short, and I mean, hey, Sonic Dream Team is basically the same length. I can definitely see where people are coming from when they say that Sonic Dream Team might be better than some of those games. So let's just start with like the different zones. As of now, there are 4 different zones, but more apparently are planned for the game. And the thing with all these zones is that they feel very unique. Like, this isn't anything we've seen before. I mean, the whole idea of Dream Team is that Sonic and crew are like running through, I think they call it the Dreamscape, where it's just a bunch of these thought up realities in Eggman's mind, basically. And that idea allows them to be like super creative with what they can do with these zones. The first level is like a beach level, but it has like jellyfish like flying through the air and stuff. And then we have like, I don't remember what it was called, but it was like a chemical plant type level where there's like this lava in the factory or something. I don't really know. And then we have I think it was called like Nightmare Maze or something. It was just it was just like so many things to do like everywhere you look. And then we finally have Ego City, which is like a Empire City Eggman Land mashup almost. And then we have the final boss level, which is like this weird like cyber level where you fight a giant Eggman, and it's just really cool stuff, man. But the thing that like makes this game stand out a ton, especially for a mobile game, is just the gameplay. This feels like a very good Sonic game. Honestly, this game controls better than Forces, if you ask me. It's another boost Sonic game. You know, you have the boost, you know, the jump, the homing attack, light speed dash, all of that good stuff. It feels really good. And hell, I would even say it feels better than how Sonic controlled in Sonic Frontiers of Cyberspace levels is that good. Which, this really surprised me. I didn't think it was possible to translate these controls to like a mobile device, but the fact that this game has controller support as well makes that whole thing much better. So yeah, the gameplay, huge win. But another thing that really caught my eye with this game initially was the multiple playable characters. Now, there are really only 3 playable groups of characters, you know, 3 different gameplay styles, if you will. You know, we have Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Rouge, Cream, and Amy, but they're separated into classes, kinda, like in Sonic Heroes, you know, so like Sonic and Amy, they're both like the speed type, they both have the same moveset, they can both light speed dash. And then you have Tails and Cream, who are like the flying type, they can both fly. And then you have Knuckles and Rouge, who of course can like climb walls and glide and that kind of thing. But the fact that there's 6 playable characters in this game is really cool, especially at launch, where, you know, other Sonic mobile games, you had to kind of wait a little bit for like all of this content where it's all kind of in the game at the start. And that's another thing, really. There are multiple missions in Sonic Dream Team where you're either like collecting some shards or getting to the goal in a specific amount of time or running through some checkpoints or, you know, what have you, stuff like that. All of this content is just so cool to see in this one mobile game, you know? Like, this is the type of thing I think you would see in like a mainline Sonic game, but honestly, this attention to detail with the extra content is part of what makes Dream Team such an impressive game. And hell, this is part of the reason why this game just has so much more content than some other 3D Sonic games. Hell, the game even has boss fights. Like, they're very easy and they all have like the same premise, really, but they're fun. And I mean, shoot, they definitely weren't needed, but hey, I'm glad that they're here. Now, the main thing with Sonic Dream Team for me was that I was playing this thing on like a 2018 iPad. Now, you could play Dream Team on on pretty much every new-ish Apple device. You know, you can even play it on like a new Apple TV if you have one of those. But what I failed to take into account initially when I thought of playing this game on that iPad was the performance. And you know, it was definitely playable. I got a solid 30 FPS at ultra low graphics settings most of the time. The game did lag spike and freeze a lot, hell, it even crashed a few times. So that really brought the game down for me a ton. It was really hard to actually be like immersed in this game when the game was like freezing and lagging every 5 minutes. It just wasn't, I don't know, man. It was such a turn off. I'm not saying I want like, you know, 120 FPS on my iPad because, you know, that's just not likely, but I feel like they could have optimized it a little bit better just to prevent lag spikes from happening. At least I have a way to play the game. I mean, that iPad was pretty much the only way I had of playing the game. So at least I had the chance to, when some people just don't have an Apple device at all to play it on. So I am very thankful for that. But I feel like they could have done a little bit better in the optimization department. So yeah, that's part of why I think Sonic Dream Team is not that great, but I still think the game is really good. It's just I feel like if I had a device that could run the game better, I would have enjoyed this game much more. But that's part of the reason of why this whole thing kind of makes me sad in a way, because this game is exclusive to Apple devices when it could have been on, you know, Steam and, you know, the Switch, PlayStation, Xbox. It could have been like a downloadable game on all of those platforms, and I would have been able to enjoy it much more from playing it on those consoles because I would get better performance and graphics. So it is kind of disappointing that this game is exclusive to Apple devices, let alone a subscription service for Apple devices, because the game has so much potential that can't really be unlocked unless if you pay like thousands of dollars on like the latest and greatest iMac Pro or whatever they're selling. And I don't think anybody is going to do that to play Sonic Dream Team. So it's like, you know, it's whatever at the end of the day. You know, you can still play the game and enjoy it on whatever Apple device, but if it was available on more consoles, then I think it would be much better, because this has the potential to like be up there with some of the best 3D Sonic games. Hell, I would even say this game is better than Sonic Frontier Cyberspace, and that's not even a hot take really. Like, these levels are so well designed, and this is basically what I wished Cyberspace and Sonic Frontiers was. And it sucks that they decided to put all of that creativity into a mobile game rather than, you know, putting it on consoles and PC and that kind of thing. But yeah, guys, that's going to end this video. If I had to give Sonic Dream Team a score, I would give it a solid 7.5 out of 10 maybe. But I just wanted to make this rant video, just kind of giving my thoughts about it. I don't really make these unscripted rant videos too often, so if I stuttered or something or repeated a ton of points, then I apologize. But I didn't really want to write a full review of this game because I feel like I wouldn't have been able to give a full, like, personal opinion on it, just because of my conditions with playing the game and how I had to play it. But yeah, guys, that's going to go ahead and end this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all later. Goodbye.